Hello everyone, welcome to the American Magpie. My name is Chris Rodriguez, and in this video we're going to talk about eight players that Newcastle United could target in January to replace Sandro Tonali. It's a big deal going on with his suspension, etc. We've talked about it long enough, but there are eight players that not just to replace Tonali, but also to add on to the team. I want to hear your opinion on what you think about these players. Some I've already talked about. I still want to know your opinion, so please drop a comment down in the comment section about these players. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give us a like, that way we keep growing. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're a Newcastle fan, let's get us to 100 likes. Come on, let's get started with the video. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's start talking about it. The first one is none other than, we've talked about this one already, Calvin Phillips, and there's a reason why I put him first, because we have already made a video for him, having struggled for game time since his arrival in Manchester City back in 2022. It really looks inevitable that Calvin Phillips will be looking to leave, will be looking to go somewhere else. I know that a lot of people don't like him. When I did a poll in the channel, almost 50% liked him, 50% didn't like him. So it's pretty divided. Just because he doesn't play at Manchester City doesn't mean much, because Pep Guardiola doesn't really go outside of his starting 11 much at all, not even as a sub. So let's take that with a grain of salt, that he doesn't play enough in Manchester City. What we can see is that he is a nice player. He's a holding midfielder. He was still selected in Gareth Southgate's England squad, despite having played just 167 minutes this season for his club, and was perhaps fortunate not to be sent off when starting against Italy during the October international break. So he is a player that just goes right to the bone. He doesn't mess around. He's a very, very tough customer. Goes to the bone, goes to the ankle. He is a tough player. Maybe will suit, the way we play football. Who knows? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Now let's move on with this one. By the way, shout out to Ultras FC TV. Incredible highlights that we're getting. The next one right here is Scott McTominay. I'm really excited about this one because I really like him as a striker. To me, he's lethal. He gives me a lot of Haaland vibes. I understand that he hasn't played up to par with Manchester United, but I think that's because they haven't given him the opportunities to do so, and they have lately. Therefore, he's been scoring and saving Manchester United in a lot of ways. So he's only 26 years old, has only managed to start for the Red Devils this season a handful of cameos from the bench. Eddie Howe appreciates McTominay, and the Scotland man is another name on the Newcastle manager's shortlist. However, it may be difficult to convince the midfielder to make a move away from Old Trafford. Now, I think this could be the right move for his career. Now, when it comes to Newcastle, we have Isak, we have Callum Wilson. I do believe that at some point Callum Wilson will try to move on, but at the end of the day, I like Scott McTominay. But if you look at it from another point of view, we have Isak. So could he really play above Isak, or what would you think? Do you think you'd play him over Isak, or Isak? To me, Isak is the starter and he's lethal, but I do like Scott McTominay a lot. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Okay, another cool name is this Andre Santos kid from Brazil. He would be a complicated option for Newcastle. Let's be honest. Despite there being a number of obstacles in the way of Newcastle moving for Andre Santos, only 19 years of age, remains a player that has intrigued those at St. James's Park. Now, the Magpies tried to bring him to Tyneside prior to his Chelsea move, but could revive their interest in the Brazilian this January. However, this would be an extremely complex deal. Firstly, Santos is currently on loan at Nottingham Forest, and despite not being featured for his new club yet, the temporary deal would have to be terminated to facilitate the Newcastle switch. So what do you think? He has a lot of talent. He's played for Brazil before, obviously, and just another Brazilian player. We have a million of those, but nice young talent, plays midfield, and at this point we'll see what happens, because we got Guimaraes, we got Tonali will be suspended. We got a few players out there, but as a backup, why not? So this next one is Conor Gallagher. A lot of people know this kid and you know, saying that he's been playing terrific, and he has, you know, playing at Chelsea. Now, despite numerous reports linking Conor Gallagher to leave Stamford Bridge during this summer window, the midfielder stuck around Chelsea. Now, this decision has paid dividends for the 23-year-old. He has started every Premier League game for the Blues this season, becoming a firm favorite of Mauricio Pochettino. It will be a tough one for him to leave, but his future at Chelsea remains uncertain, despite reports suggesting that the midfielder could sign a new contract with the Blues. Newcastle might pounce if contract negotiations break down. Now, this Gallagher move would be more realistic than the previous one that we talked about with Santos. Okay, so this next one is nice. He's a nice player with a lot of experience, and it's Ruben Neves. He just made a £47 million switch to Al Hilal last summer, and just despite that it was done just not too long ago, signing the Portuguese midfielder wouldn't be so straightforward or even cheap. But it's not out of the realms of possibility that the Saudi PIF that owns Newcastle could pull some strings to help the Magpies out in this situation. It may seem unlikely, but stranger things have happened in football, of course. So never say never. He's a nice player, veteran. He knows about the game really well, and look, got a lot of experience. So why not? Could be an option. Okay, moving on to the next one, Manu Kone, or Cone. I'll call him Kone. He was strongly linked to the Premier League during this past summer. Now, he was a hot topic during the last transfer window, with strong links to the Premier League rearing their head throughout the summer. While initially linked with a move to Liverpool, the Liverpool's interest in the 23-year-old kind of just went dead in the water. They took a step back, but this could pave a way for Newcastle to take a step forward in their pursuit of the new defensive midfielder. Now, despite extending his deal until 2026 with Borussia Mönchengladbach, both club and player are open to Kone making a move away from the league, from the Bundesliga, or to a bigger club, which would be Newcastle, of course. So, you know, when you cannot root out this Frenchman. He's a really, really nice young talent, and that right there, you see it, he can score as well. Now, in number 7, we got, I'm gonna say this right, or I'm gonna mess it up, I'm sure. It's Khéphren Thuram. And this guy was another young French midfielder linked with Bright Lights of England over the summer, with both Liverpool and Newcastle taking a particularly detailed look at the Nice player. Now, Thuram is the son of the legendary right-back Lilian Thuram and brother of Inter Milan's forward Marcus Thuram. Has been identified as a long-term target for Newcastle, and there's hope that he could be available in January. Now, this is a really feasible player to come to Tyneside, so just keep that in mind. There has been links to Manchester United as well, given that Nice owner is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and he looks to set to buy a minority stake in Manchester United, so he's always liked them, and maybe there could be some favoritism going that way. But at the end of the day, this is business, so if you don't pay the price, it doesn't matter. Okay, so last but not least, another midfielder strong linked with Anfield would be Andre of Fluminense. Now, Liverpool wanted the 22-year-old in the summer, but the Brazilian club were unwilling to sell him, as they were looking at the Copa Libertadores final, etc. They got eliminated by Boca Juniors, so at the end of the day, they want to sell him. Now, while Newcastle don't find themselves in a particularly strong position to bring Andre to St. James's Park, they would be foolish not to consider the Fluminense man in January, given the current situation. Perhaps Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Ellington, you know, could talk to him. They're Brazilian players. He's a nice player. I mean, you know, he's probably one of the least players that will eventually come to Newcastle, but somebody that they have set their eyes on as well. So these are 8 players that Newcastle has set their eyes on. As I said, you know, a lot of these guys you're not going to like. A lot of them could interest you, but I do want to know what you think, exactly what you think. What are your thought process on these players? Comment down below. It's really important for me to keep growing this. And by the way, I have a question. I'm going to start like a group chat for Newcastle fans, for all of us to come together, talk about the games, talk about the news, the rumors. So let me know what app you would like. First of all, if you're interested in that, and what app would you like? It's the easiest I would think is WhatsApp group. you know, just a simple WhatsApp group, or maybe a Discord. I've never been on Discord, but I'm willing to do it. So Telegram, let me know in the comment section. It would be really, really nice for all of us to get together and just grow this Newcastle community. But yeah, let me know what you think about these players. Maybe you don't like none of them. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot to keep growing this Magpie community. I'm Chris, your American Magpie. We'll see each other next time. Bye-bye.